Good evening and salutations, my bold and beautiful fans. Even on nights like this, when I'm running a little bit late on doing these reviews, and I'm like, maybe I could just do both of them tomorrow. I start watching it, and immediately I have energy. This show is priceless. You got Shauna Smith there talking to Quinn. They're talking about Eric and, the not sex that they had. And, Shauna asked a question like, yo, what made him thought that, last night was going to be any different than any other night? Like, what got into him, you know? And it makes Quinn think for a little bit. Now, Donna, can I ask somebody, was Donna always dressing like this before this whole ED storyline got started? Because I don't remember her dressing like this, and I really don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, was she always dressing like this? I just as I said, the girl's looking hot. Okay. Um. Now she's talking to Eric, and she's like, maybe you put too much pressure on yourself. And I think that's something that Shauna was Smith is saying too. But it is something, to think about, as far as like maybe. I think I said all the, I was going to sit there and say, I think I said all the, the immature jokes that I was, I really thought I got that on my system. But there's one point where, he's like, well, I couldn't sit there and tell her about yesterday, that I had that feeling. I only had it with you. And then this man gives her a hug. I can't even read. I wrote in the notes. Oh my goodness, this topic should be handled so much better than the way it's handled. But I mean, come on. A guy gives her a hug. She's looking hot as hell. He has that. He has that look in his face. We all know that look. Okay? We all know that look. As a man, I definitely know that look. And I'm just going to leave it at that. If I say anything else, I'm going to start laughing more. And this review will be a lot longer than it was intended. So I'm just gonna move on. Just gonna move on. You got Hope and Liam, talking about like, all right, we gotta sit down and tell them, but they're afraid because of how they're gonna react. Liam and Steffi gets in there, and they tell them, they're like, yo, listen, we saw our parents, and of course the automatic like, hey, can I finish telling the story? They tell them about their so-called romance or whatever, and Liam is like, whatever it is, it's a con. They're playing you. This isn't real. And, Finn is like, well, I mean, they seem like they were legit, you know. And how even Hope was like, yeah, they both seem like they were really happy. I was like, they really seem like they're. Did you look at this man's face? I mean, she practically had a gun. She had an invisible gun pointed right at him. But she's like, yeah, no, they met in prison. They were pen pals, and they genuinely seemed like they were happy. I'm just gonna say, no, I can't give her excuses. Whatever. So anyway, they tell them they're both not happy, and Liam was like, oh, you just gotta stay away from them. You just gotta stay away from them. Did those two? I was gonna sit there and say those two idiots. Did they actually tell them that they were at the they were at the I don't think that even happen? No, no, no. That's what happened. I was about to sit there and get it all mixed up, but like, did they even sit there and tell them that? Oh, by the way, we are gonna go there, but they're already there. So like, what are they gonna sit there and do each time they're at a place that they're at? They're just supposed to sit there and just get up and leave. Like, I guess the part that made them angry was the fact that they went up there and they confronted them. It's one thing if they were just there and it's like, all right, we're not, they don't really want us near our parents, so we got to kind of keep our distance. But they went towards them, and even if it was just to confront them, seriously, I'm like, I pretty much have the TV at such a low volume, yet that song was just cranking up all high. Deacon and Cheryl. So, in a lot of ways, I almost feel like this is kind of on repeat. Where Cheryl has to sit there and once again kind of convince Deacon to go along with the plan, which the plan is pretty much, oh, all kids are gonna sit there and defend us towards their significant others, and it's gonna cause tension, and they're gonna all wind up breaking up, and then we can all be together. And she actually had a Photoshop. Like she showed Deacon a Photoshop of all four of them just kind of, being one happy family, and Deacon's like, what? Now, Cheryl's like, oh, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm sitting there looking at Deacon like, bro, you still got time, okay? This plan, whatever she's cooking up, it's not done yet. You still have time to salvage something of a relationship with your daughter. But once you go through with this, you're done. You're done. Of course, there's one point where Cheryl tries to fake flirt with him or whatever, like, oh, you've been in jail for a long time, and like then she gets all in his face and then she starts laughing, and it's just like, bro, you need to make a decision. And I think that's another thing that's kind of, I guess, kind of annoying me a little bit, because Deacon seems like, when they met their kids, he was kind of riding along with the plan. But he was totally not for that plan in the first place. One minute, she kisses him. And he's like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you kissing me for? Next minute, he's like, all right, well, let's kiss, Let me show you a real kiss or whatever. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Can you just pick a lane? Because I get it, but at the wall, I was like, bro. And that's probably another reason I was getting a little annoyed with him. I mean, just the fact that Cheryl had to pretty much kind of give him a pep talk once again to sit there and be like, all right, this is the reason why you need to go with this plan, and we're gonna get our kids, and they're not gonna stop us. It's like, bro, I felt like I've been watching this whole show trying to, show trying to get Deacon on board with this plan for about damn near 2 weeks. Pick a lane. Just pick a lane. I'm not gonna lie, I think that was about it. And it was so weird too, because like as I'm watching it, and it's like 15 minutes, close to 18 minutes, so it's like, alright. And then it's like, wait, that's it? Really? You just kind of realize, when you're watching it in the daytime, you're watching it on TV, like an 18-minute show, and that's with their commercials. Okay? They gotta stretch this out for 30 minutes. So it's like, you're pretty much watching commercials for like 15 minutes at a time. And the other time is just you're watching, well, you're watching something. I don't know. I've said this before, and I know it sounds like a broken record, but sometimes I feel like this show could benefit in some ways from being a little bit longer. But I'll be honest, in a lot of ways I almost sound like a hypocrite, because when I watch General Hospital, it's like, oh my goodness, you have so many characters and half of them aren't doing anything. And this episode is kind of slow because nothing's going on. And so I just... And it's one of those things like, well, maybe I should just write for the show myself. But then, like, I'm not saying what they do is easy, okay, because it's not. I can sit there and criticize them on what they do as far as the writers, but I'm not in their position. And that's something that I always gotta sit there and kind of look at, even when certain things are slow. Um, I mean, hell, before I did videos, I would sit there and criticize the hell out of people in the comment section. Like, well, you're stupid because of blah, blah, blah. And how dare you say that? You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. Da, 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 da. Now I'm doing videos, and then a lot of times I get those same comments, and I'm like, yeah, with that person. So I get it. Anyway, I think that's pretty much about it. If I missed anything, please write it down in the comment section below. Uh, 15 minutes, or 18 minutes, but whatever. Um, I'm looking at like the time is like 11 minutes so far. I'm like, why is this so short? Oh, wait a minute, 18 minutes for an episode. Never mind. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. See you in the next video.